by curious women. So before we pursue this any further, you need to consider, what kind of women do you like sitting on your face when you think about being with me? And they usually go, oh my God, I don't believe you said that. Or, oh, what'd you say? I go, come on, do you understand English? You know, because I don't know how to speak French, and if I say it in Mexican, it's going to sound real shitty. So they go, my God, everybody thinks that. Nobody says that. I go, well, I'm not everybody. I'm just a guy that knows what I want, how I'm going to get it, and I also know that I run my universe. If you want to be here, you need to understand this is the way I live. And if you need to cause drama, you need to be gone. Because in my world, I rule. Now, one of my rules is this, is if we have less success. If we have more success, it's inversely proportional. When you have more success, you have less drama. Look at anybody in their life, like Donald Trump, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's had a whole lot of real beautiful women in and out of his life. But the point of it is this: when you know who you are and you know what you want and you know how you're going to do it. Even people like Napoleon Hill in his book Think and Grow Rich, they talk about behind every successful, back then when he was writing that, a millionaire was like a billionaire, but he goes, behind every successful millionaire is a woman. And then he starts describing what the alchemists refer to as sexual magic, taking sexual energy and true love from a partner or partners and transmutating that into the power to realize incredible, not just money, but wealth. And there's a big difference between just the acquisition of money, dollars and cents, and true wealth. When you have, Frank, like we're real good friends, when you have true friendships, that can't be compromised, and it won't get compromised. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But there's, on the other hand, you also have seen lots of these people that we know that have lots of money that don't have any friends.
That's right.
They are lonely, empty. No matter how much money they have, they can't. It's not that they can buy yes people to be around, but they don't have anybody that will sit down just like we sit down and just chat with them. Just be human. Just be person to person.
You know, we gotta go to a commercial break, but before we do, I gotta get one question in here,
okay,
based on something you said. You're often referred to as Godfather of the community, but so much of what we've talked about now, so much of what you've said in the last, let's say, 20 minutes, goes so against what the seduction community teaches. How does it make you feel when they refer to you as Godfather of the community when the community doesn't really reflect, or at least parts of the community doesn't really reflect how you connect with women?
Well, people call me all kinds of things, you know. I mean, they used to just tell Hypnotic and I that we were the old fucks of the thing. That's why we have to act that way. Now, because otherwise, why would you have to worry about inner game? Because after all, we're just out fucking bitches. And I'm just going, maybe you're out fucking bitches, you know, okay. Yeah. The thing is I don't resist it. See, here's another Zen and Buddhist notion. What you resist will persist. And the thing is, as people keep trying to resist these relationships, rather than letting themselves be loved, they resist love because they have some kind of hurt or some kind of... See, here's the other thing. This community, when we put it together, it was so people could have the acquisition of knowledge and then put it into experience, which turns information into knowledge, working knowledge. Information alone can never be anything more than information. If you don't experience the information, you'll never have a true handle on it. You will never understand how it's to be truly applied. People all the time take what I say and they take it out of context, or they take, well, see, he did this, he did that, because they're trying to understand if you do this and this, then you get to fuck 3 women. And first of all, I'm not interested in just fucking women. It's like, once you understand the difference between fucking and making love, and I'm sorry about using being coarse, but the thing is once you know the difference between fucking and making love, there's a much more of a connection when you make love, and it's more filling. It's like the great master Mikhail Ivanhoff said. He says, when we came off the sacred grid and became born into the human body, we long to touch the spark of the divine. in that quest that we go to look into another person and to connect soul to soul, heart to heart, the purpose of that connection, and some people think, oh, they just mean tantric sex. Well, he was against tantra, but it means when we do connect like that, it's for nourishment of the heart and nourishment of the soul. And the thing is, nourishment is always a question of purity. If you go in and go to McDonald's, eat a bunch of French fries with mayonnaise on it, a bunch of sloppy-ass hamburgers and stuff like that, you eat and you're still hungry. That's because part of it's not real nourishing food. If you sit down where somebody's prepared with love a real beautiful meal for you, you eat a smaller quantity of it, but you feel full.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, there's one more thing. There's a book, I don't know if your audience is big readers or not. There's a book out there called The Heart Speaks. The Heart Speaks is like, see, I teach in other communities too. I teach women, and I work with a lot of metaphysical people. In the metaphysical community where I teach shamanistic hypnosis and these types of things, we've said forever that when people have a stolen or broken heart, that they're more susceptible to heart diseases and different kinds of illnesses. Well, a couple years back, this cardiologist from New York, now she's out in San Diego, she wrote a book called The Heart Speaks. In her opening, maybe it's in the preface, it says, stolen, broken, and wounded hearts are one of the greatest sources for things like stroke, cardiac arrest, and other stress-related illnesses. And I'm going, we've been saying this for 30 years,
mm-hmm.
you know, but people go, oh, you guys are just a bunch of woo-woo people from California. But when I was doing suicide intervention, people go, I can't get over the ache in my heart. You know, and then I find out later on they had a stroke or something, because it's a neurological loop that keeps them dwelling on that. Mm-hmm. So what we do with hypnosis is I actually do, like I train my girlfriends, and I'm training a couple of other guys about how to do things like healing the wounded heart and heart retrieval, so that when you connect heart to heart with somebody, when you're out of that relationship, you bid the person farewell, but you wish them well. And you also bring back your what they call octa chords in Huna, because of that heart-to-heart connection.
I got to stop you now. We do have to go to commercial, but when we come back, I want to hear more about this.
Okay.
We're talking to Steve here on Frank Talks, Pleasures and Lifestyles. We'll be back right after this.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test, a man's guide to the emotional needs of women. What would your life be like if you knew exactly what to say and do with women? This book is for the guy that simply wants to learn how to handle women's tests by addressing her emotional needs. By this, you create the type of attraction that will make her see you as the one she was destined to be with. This book will teach you how to get the woman you want and how to keep her. Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test is the Rosetta Stone for men to understand exactly what a woman means when she speaks and how to respond. Is that worth changing your life forever? Buy this book at franktalks.com now.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by The Eye of the Seducer, the Emotional Needs Analysis Workbook Volume 1. This workbook is designed to teach you to